ค What's happening, guys? How are you all doing tonight? I had a pretty long day myself. I actually filled in for a guy at Motor City today. So I just got back from work a couple hours ago and had to get everything all set up for tonight. So it's been kind of a rush day for me. And as you probably already know, Carrie's not here tonight. She threw her back out, unfortunately. And she is riding the couch with heat pads and ice and all kinds of crazy stuff. So definitely keep her in your prayers and send some good vibes her way, please. She's in a metric ton of pain, I guess. So I'm sorry. I hope she feels better as soon as possible. Oh man, these Olmec cigars are the best. If you haven't tried a Olmec cigar by Foundation, you're missing out. These are insane. Anyways, let me scroll back and say hello. Braxel, what's happening? Flux, what's going on? And then we have Tim Santos. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Vox Pathfinder, what's going on, Dan? Hope you're doing well. What's the in dirt pedal these days? Oh gosh, that changes every freaking day. Depends on what amp I'm using. I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, any one of my pedals the main ones on my board are the Mud Killer, the Oddbox, the Devil's Triad Essentials, the Red 7 Alchemy, the Precision Drive, and the Aegis by Walrus Audio. And I switched those out, you know, some of them. But that's what's currently on my board. Hey, what's up, Bill? Ooh, does anybody have a good recommendation for a reverb and delay pedal in one? Gosh, off the top of my head, I sure don't. I know some good delay pedals. The ones I usually use are the Flashback 2. That's what I use on my analog rig, and I freaking love those pedals. But that's just a delay pedal. All right, James Florio, what's happening? He says, with all these modelers available today, if I was doing it all over and looking at them all, I'd choose the AM4 or the HX Stomp and use 2 amps in stereo. These fractal effects are insane. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll tell you, every time I plug into my AM4, I am blown away. I mean, I'm seriously like, I can get a good tone out of this easily, especially when I put my own IRs in there, which I'm grateful for the ability to do that. And the effects, everything, I mean, the software is so easy. It's like if you can't dial in something that sounds good on the AM4, then here's your free helmet and drool cup, and go lick some windows. I mean, it's so simple, you know, it really is. It's a great unit. The effects are great. So it's like I said in the video I put up the other day, if you're on a budget and you need something that's really good, just go get an AM4. Like, it's just a no-brainer, you know, and I think that made no-brainer gear of the year for me in 2025 anyways. I mean, it's just such a good unit. And the honeymoon phase is definitely over. Like, in other words, like, I've had it long enough to really get over the excitement of it and everything and to look at it realistically. And I'm still blown away every time I plug into it. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's insane. Like, I'm playing the Mark IV presets tonight, and I mean, literally, I dialed all these in probably 15 minutes, and like, I haven't touched them since. I dialed them in like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like figuring out what am I going to do tonight, and I plugged it in last night and just sound checked it, and I'm like, oh my God, these sound incredible. There is a 2.0 update right now for the AM4. I haven't done the update yet, but I saw a video on it today, and I looked on their website and didn't see it, so I don't know if that's like somebody on the beta team that knows about it or something, but I didn't see it. But I'm going to check that out when I get a chance. I didn't see the notes yet, but I don't know if there's a bunch of new amps in there or not, but there's some fixes and some other things, and I think there's a couple pedals, but as far as I've seen anyways, but I'm still going to check it out. Bill says the AM4 is a great unit, and it's easy to use even without the software. Yeah, I haven't used it very much without the software, but it is much easier to use than their other units, that's for sure. The brother Ken says, should the AM4 and XFX3 sound identical? Yeah, they should. I don't think they dumbed the models down. If they did, boy, these are the best dumbed down models I've ever played. But I don't think they did. They are definitely very good. Very, very good. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, thanks for the best wishes for Carrie. I'll pass those on. She might even be here in the chat tonight. If you are Carrie, you know, say something. She might be sleeping too. She was in a lot of pain. Let's see. Tim Santos says, hope all is going well in your area. We are already in the 90s here. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, your guys are probably used to that, but 90s here is pretty freaking hot. But yeah, it's going to be another one of those weeks where it's high 30s, low 40s. Maybe we'll get a day in the 50s, but it's still kind of deciding on what it wants to do here. And I'm kind of pissed because I got that new e-bike, that freaking, what is it? Norica Mega, and it's just sitting in my garage. I just really want to take it out for a proper ride, but I can't yet, so... Oh, well. Let's see. Bill says, I'd get a mud killer, but Motor City is out of stock. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that. I'm sure they'll place an order soon. Oh, look at that. JHPRS says, I have a setup where I control the AM4 with my ToneMaster Pro by MIDI. It expands the control and switching possibilities, plus I get scribble strips to look at. Hey, whatever works, right? Isn't that nice? Tim says the Devil's Triad is such a great pedal. It really is. The Essentials is freaking... That works with just about any amp really well, so I love it. Let's see here. Matrix Star 2767 says, after getting a Jackson Soloist, do I need another one or should I check some other brand? Oh, good question. I mean, you know, there's some new Schecter guitars that are out right now that are freaking badass. I mean, I would say, like, my advice on guitars is, you know, I see guys getting a lot of the same guitars in different colors and stuff, and it's like, that's cool. I get it. I have my Majesties. I have a couple different colors of these. I got the red one and the purple one, and then I got another one upstairs, the Marone color, or whatever you want to call it. It's a 6-string. And it's cool, but I'll tell you, when I got the Schecter with the Sustainiac pickup in it, it changed everything for me. Like, it's a great guitar, and that pickup is such a great party trick. I write solos with and for that pickup now, and I take advantage of it. So get something that makes you play outside of the lines a little bit and allows you to do something. Get something with a Sustainiac in it. Get something with a whammy bar if you don't have something with a whammy bar right now, you know? I mean, definitely get a guitar that expands you as opposed to one that just keeps you locked into the same lane that you've always been in. Being uncomfortable is a good thing because that's where growth happens. So get something that's obviously comfortable to play, but allows you to do more than what's in your comfort zone. I guess I'll put it to you that way. Ben Burnett, what's happening? Let's see here. He says, use Kemper floorboard just like yours or Fractal AM4. Stereo rigs are important to me. Oh, boy. That's a tough one, man. I mean, honestly, it really is. I like them both equally. I really do. Gotta keep this thing going, man. So if you want more flexibility, I would say to go with the KEMPER because you're going to have, you know, more effects. You get 8 before the amp and 8 after. You'll probably get more tones or more amps to choose from because, I mean, profiles are pretty much almost infinite anyways. You can get anything you want out there, but there's a lot of shitty ones because, you know, not everybody knows how to make profiles very well. And there's definitely some crappy profiles out there. But there's also a lot of good ones. So find a trusted website where you can get some good ones, and I think it'll be fine. But the one thing I really like about the Axe-Fx is all of the amp tones are good. So if you don't like one of the amp models in there, that means you just don't like that amp, you know. So it's not a crappy amp model. It's just a crappy amp to you anyways. It's something you don't like. What else was I going to say? Oh, I like the fact that they allow us to use dual IRs in the Fractal units, where the KEMPER, if you're going to use DI captures or profiles, you get one IR slot, which is something I hope they fix. But it's just this thing. Like it's like I said in the other day's videos, make your deal breaker list and then make your must-have list. And then find something that has, you know, nothing on the deal breaker list, but at least most of the things, or actually all of the things on the must-have list, because it's the must-have list. And then have some other stuff that are like bonus things, you know. And then buy the unit that has those things and be happy with it, you know. I think that's really the way to go. I mean, I think both units, equally quality-wise, are very good. Very, very good. It just comes down to what kind of features do you have and what are your deal breakers, you know. Now, Ben's also asking, can the original KEMPER floor unit do the new KEMPER capture? Yeah, but they're dumbed down and they're not good, at least in my experience. If you watch my first impressions video of the 2.0 captures or profiles or whatever, they didn't sound good in the old KEMPER at all. They just sounded really crappy. They sounded like a crappy modeler. That's what they sounded like. So they have to dumb them down quite a bit to go in there. So if you're going to get a KEMPER, get the Mark II. Oh, Bill says, just go to the AM4 forum. They always post in there. The website is behind. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because I went on the website and didn't see it. So I'll check that out for sure. Thank you. The update firmware is on the forum, probably on the website by tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I looked this morning and it wasn't there. And I'm like, wonder if that's a beta thing or I don't know what's going on. But I'll check it out. Thank you. Jim Simmons says, I bought a Sonic Cake Levitate delay reverb pedal over Christmas holidays. Under 40 bucks. Sounds pretty good. Reverb is played. Oh, that's cool. So Tim, I'm going to switch guitars here in a minute. Tim Santos says, if you had to guess, do you think Fractal will release the Axe-Fx 4 this year? Probably not. I don't have any inside information, but I've kind of heard from the grapevine that it's probably not going to happen till, you know, 27 or 28. I could be wrong. A lot of companies like to throw you off the trail because they don't want you to wait. They don't want you to hold off and not buy their current gear, you know. So it's a business thing, unfortunately. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I think a lot of companies wait till their older stuff is kind of depleting, and then they announce, you know, when the new thing's coming out, you know. And then they fire sale everything else, you know. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could come out tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah, they'll surprise us on the AM4 for sure. And you know, that was the thing. I don't think there was any announcements about the AM4 until they were released. I mean, it was like release day, AM4, you know. So there was no leaks that I remember. There were no warnings or, you know, nothing. It was just, oh, AM4 is out. Check it out. And then here it is. And everyone's like, oh, my God. And they just flew off the shelves. They went out of stock really quick. And then they had them in stock overseas. And I think they came back in stock over here, and it's just been this thing where they're having a hard time keeping them in stock. So if you want an AM4 and you find one, don't think about it, just get it, because they go super quick, man. Really freaking quick. Let me start off with the red one here with some typical stuff that I do. Let me shut off the mic here. Come on, there we go. Yeah, my mic receiver automatically turns off, I guess, if you don't use it for a while. It's got that feature on it. I should probably change that. Battery saver, I guess. And to turn all that back on. Man, this thing sounds great, man. I'm totally down with this thing. Sounds awesome. Really freaking good. How many of you guys have the AM4 or any other Fractal stuff? If you're looking for like a quote-unquote budget-friendly piece of gear, this thing is freaking stupid good, man. Man, this thing went out. Big time. What's up, Shaheen? Dude, I was going to call you today and see if you wanted to come, but I knew it would be super last minute because it was kind of touch and go with Carrie today. She's like, I don't know if I can make it. Let me see. My back's a mess right now. I'm in a lot of pain. And sometimes she'll tough through it, you know, but, you know, then I worked till 5 and it was like, it was nuts, you know, and I was like, man, this is too last minute. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll get together again soon, man. I miss hanging out with you guys. But anyways, let me see here. Oh, that last song reminds you of something off of Dream Theater Awake. The last one I played, that kind of like 80s poppy kind of thing. I wonder which song. Oh, there's that one part in there that reminds me of some of that stuff too. Yeah, I kind of stole that from John. I stole a lot of stuff from John. I mean, I'm doing the Temu version of it all, but I still stole it. Right now, me and Shaheen are having a friendly competition on who can get Universal Mind intro down first. I think he's probably going to beat me, but man, that's a tough one. That is a really, really tough one to play. A lot of string skipping, which I love doing, but it's so fast. It's so hard to play right. And I'd play it for you now, but I'd probably just embarrass myself and lose all my subscribers. So it's a hot mess for me right now, but it is such a killer piece, man. Yeah, it's something like that. That's the Temu version of it. It's so hard, man. It's so freaking hard. I'm going to listen back to it and throw up, so. Oh, thanks, Jim Simmons. I think I just ruined everything you said, though. He says, Jarrod, you're sounding great and also playing great. Well, I just ruined that, didn't I? I should have read that comment and then said, no, I'm not going to try to play Temu Universal Mind tonight. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Oh, Iron Game, what's going on, man? He said the AM4 has been sold out for a while now. I do want one. Oh, dude. If it's one product that I think, you know, how companies come out with certain products and they're great, but they're overpriced and people are like, oh, and it forces you to look at it in such a way, like a critical eye. You're like, oh, come on, you're not that good. And then everybody starts ragging on it. And I did a video on a certain product about a month ago that was just like that. And it's like, it's probably okay, but $1,700? It's not $1,700 good. Like, no. That's like when a 6 rates herself as a 10. It's like, well, you were kind of girl next door hot, but now I just, nah. You called yourself a 10 and you're not, you know. And it's seriously, it makes you a 4 now, you know. And when this product came out and was priced the way it was, I'm like, that's how you do it. That is how you make a product, market it properly, and price it accordingly. And it's a no-brainer. It's a literal no-brainer for people. They'll look at that and go, yeah, I'll buy that. I mean, XFX is great. Everybody thinks XFX is great. Everybody says they are the king of modeling, and they kind of are. So when they come out with a product that's this good and priced like this, even if you don't need it, you're going to buy it because it's just stupid good. You know, I seriously, every time I come down here and dial in a preset or some scenes or whatever with this, I don't have it in the back of my mind of like, oh, I hope I can make this sound good. I know I'm going to make it sound good. It's just so easy to make sound good. You have to work hard on making this thing sound like ass. You know, you really do. Tim Santos. Oh, good question. He said, I've never seen a Majesty in person. Does it have the 2 jacks like my JP15? No, it's got one, but it has a button on the back. You can turn it into stereo or not. So you can make it into 2 jacks if you want. And then you use a TRS, you know, tip to go in there, and then it'll split it for you, if that makes sense. But yeah, I always forget because I have my JP15 upstairs and I play it. I've been playing it a lot lately, but for a while I wasn't. And I always forget which one to put the wireless in. Is it the bottom one or the top? It's the bottom one. But I love these guitars. I really do. Thanks, Vox Pathfinder. I appreciate it, man. TJ Magnify? Sorry if I butcher your name. He said, that thing sounds great. Oh, it does. Dude, seriously, this is the Mark IV preset. And we were in ears listening to it. It just sounds amazing. And then my other preset has some chorus and delay on it. And then my lead preset. Oh, that was... And then there's my preset with the flanger. Yeah, sounds good. It's nice and tight. It's freaking awesome, dude. Let's see. Iron Games says our influences show up in our playing, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. Oh yeah, you're right. It's been said many times, music is the art of thieves. And what we do is we steal each other's stuff, we repaint it, and then maybe put a little twist on it, and then now it's ours. And then someone steals our stuff and does the same thing, and next thing you know, this one riff that was started out like this is turned into something where you're like, you got to really dig deep to find out the initial inspiration for that. So it's really cool, you know. I mean, I've seen many players that were influenced by, you know, like Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I don't hear it in their playing, but they can point it out and go, yeah, this right here. And then once they do, you're like, oh, you're right, that did come from him, but they've repainted it and twisted it so much that it's theirs now, you know. So it's actually really cool. I love it. In fact, Dream Theater is one of those rare bands when you watch their behind the scenes on how they make their albums. They'll actually take CDs and lay them out and go, here's our inspiration for this album. And they'll put Muse and all these other bands like The Police and all this, and you're like, what? But then you hear it in the song, you're like, oh, that is a Muse part, you know? And they'll admit it, like even U2, stuff like that. They're like, yeah, we freaking get inspired by all this stuff. And then they Dream Theaterize it, and it's like all crazy, so it's it's kind of cool how they do that. Okay, Braxel says, right now I've been critical of my VP4, worrying that the effects are cheap. Really? I think the effects on the Fractal stuff are amazing. QC effects are awesome, Braxel says. Yeah, they're good. I don't think they're as elaborate as the KEMPER or the Fractal stuff, but I mean, that's the thing. Some people, it all comes down to preference. Some people like something a little more straightforward. I like to tweak my effects. I like to put some chorus on the delays and stuff like that, and I just like, I'm using surround delay for all my leads, and I think the surround delay is definitely in my top 5 delays of all time. I think that's an amazing delay. You know, I love it. Yeah, it's all good right now. It's like I said in yesterday's video, or whatever it was that I posted that. Was that Friday? Everything's good. Just pick what works best for you. You know, have your deal breaker list and your must-have list. Make sure it's got the I/O that you need and the flexibility that you need, and everything else is like, hey, I mean, you know, does it have the amps that you want in it? And if it does, just go for it. I mean, I could go on tour right now with the AM4 and be happy. I can go on tour with my KEMPER. I can go on tour with my HELIX Stadium XL. You know, what else do I have? My Quad Cortex, my Nano Cortex. I could go on tour with it, but without the gapless switching, I think that would get on my nerves a little bit. You know, because when you hear that gap, you're like, oh, it's such a bummer. So I hope they fix that. But it's not a deal breaker, but I wish they would fix that. I really do. Metalhead, what's happening? He says, I got to say, new modelers come and go, but I love the XFX stuff. They have a smooth, record-ready sound. No, you're right. They are very good. You know, my first I guess, experience with XFX 3 was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I thought it was good, but I didn't create my own presets on it. So I had a really hard time jiving with it because one man's steak is another man's chicken, they say. So if I would have spent some time with it and created my own presets, I probably would have really dug it back then. But I just didn't want to get into it, and I just heard all these stories about it being complicated, and I just didn't want to, you know, overwhelm myself with it. But this time, a couple months ago, my friend Jay let me use his XFX3 for about a month, and I was like, all right, I'm going to get to know this thing. And I downloaded the software and did my first preset on it, and I was like, you know what? This thing actually really is good. And I used the Dynacavs and thought it was amazing. And then I started making my own impulse responses because of that. It inspired me to do that. And I loaded them in. I was like, I like it even better. And I'm using my own impulse responses tonight. I'm using the Carnivore on one side and the Vintage 30 on the other. And I think that's a great blend. And it just sounds killer, you know. Let's see. Matrix Star says, do you like to use a looper and drum machine combo for some spontaneous improv? I've never done that, but I think it would be fun. I'm not a good improv guy. Like, if you ever have me sit in on a band and like listen to me solo over something, I will sound like crap. Everything I do is very written and planned out, and my writing sessions, they start out really ugly because I'm just wobbling all over the place and stepping on all the bad notes because I don't know theory for crap. So my solos are all written by trial and error, and sometimes I'll hear something in my head, and then it's trial and error trying to put what's in my head on the fretboard. So yeah, everything I do, like when you hear me live, it's all written already and rehearsed. So I am not a improv guy at all. I'm horrible at it because I don't know theory. I suck. Okay, JHPRS. Jarrod, have you used a modifier in the AM4 to be able to have a different things happen? Modifier, like no delay on the lowest fret positions and then gradually come in as you go up the neck. I've never even heard of that. You mean like ducking on the delay? Maybe that's what you're talking about. I don't know. But I've never used what you mentioned there. CS, one man's jive is another man's jerky. Hell yeah. I've never done that. But if you explain further, maybe I'll understand your question more, and then I can give you a proper answer. Sorry. I know it sucks typing stuff. I hate it too, you know. Let's see. Braxel says, that's the problem. If you sit there and compare all the delays from all these units, you get lost in it. So far, the Halo, to me, is the best. I mean, it's good to compare things, but it's like it's an old saying, you know, comparison is the thief of joy, you know. I mean, it really is. I mean, after a while, you just got to be happy with what you have. So do some comparisons and, you know, make your decision. And then at that point, it's almost like when you get married, you throw out your little black book because I'm done. I picked her and that's it, you know. So that's the best way to go. You know, because you can spend the rest of your life just nope, you know, and then you're never satisfied. And the thing is we buy these units to perform with them and to write with them and practice with them. But if we spend all our time tweaking and comparing things, I mean, we never get anywhere. And you're never going to be satisfied anyways. So it's always best to just make a decision and just go, that's the way I'm going. And then maybe in a year, revisit some things. And I always give myself a time limit. Like, I'm going to compare this for, you know, this sort of thing for this amount of time. And once I'm done, I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to close the book and move on. And I have a rule with myself. I spend no more than 5 minutes dialing in an amp tone on any modeler. If I can't get it to sound good in 5 minutes, I'm either an idiot or the thing that I'm playing is a piece of shit, or maybe both. You know, so I just dial it in and go. Like everything you're hearing tonight, all 4 of these presets was like a 15-minute session. Probably not even that, you know. So, and I think it sounds great. Tim or TJM. I don't know how to pronounce your thing. If you want to help me out with that, please do. TJM Tech. Sorry. Anyways, he says, I am still happy with my ToneX stuff for now. No, it's great. The ToneX stuff is great. I love the fact that they added effects to everything. You know, you can dial in a great couple of presets and go live with that. You know, and I think it sounds really freaking good. If you got good captures, just dial in your effects the way you like them and go. I mean, I think it's a great way to go. I really do. So yeah, so Flux says, Jarrod, I converted my Nano Cortex into a bass rig. Oh, cool. By making QC captures of a used MPEG Pro bass head and putting into Nano sounds huge direct through the PA. Perfect tiny bass rig. No, you're right. I think the bass tones in a lot of these rigs are really good also. I mean, my album was, I think, recorded with some real amps and some weren't, I think. I can't remember now, but turned out really good. Yeah, you're right, Braxel. They all really do sound good. I mean, you just have to just pick something and go. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I know a lot of guys that spend so much time tweaking, and then you ask them, like, hey, well, let me hear some stuff you're working on. And all they've worked on is tweaking their tones. And they never get anywhere. And I'd rather learn Universal Mind. You know, I'd rather learn that than sit here and try to tweak everything. I just want to master that riff, because I think that'd be just awesome. I mean, that's a cool party trick. You show up and play that, people are like, oh, you know that shit? Like, yeah, that's cool, you know, other than, well, I tweaked my shit for 6 weeks, and this is what it sounds like, and it's all subjective anyways. But if you can master a song like Universal Mind or whatever else that's out there that's a challenge for you, I think that's more of an accomplishment than, yeah, I tweaked my stuff for a couple weeks and this is what I came up with and I'm still not happy with it, you know. So that's kind of the route I go with. Jim Simmons, Jarrod, are there other amp models in AM4 as good as high gain models like the Marshall Plexi? So there's some Marshall stuff in there. I wouldn't know a good, like, how to dial in a Marshall Plexi sound to save my life. I don't gel with Marshalls, especially Plexis, because they just don't have enough gain for me, and I always feel like I'm doing something wrong when I dial one in. I'm always like, why does this sound weird to me? It's because I don't really play those, and it's kind of like someone who never dialed in a Mark amp before, and they dial it in, and they're like, why does this sound like crap? Well, it's because you're not familiar with this amp, and you don't understand how the structure is on it, and you know, so Marshall Plexis are a bit of a Rubik's Cube for me. I just don't, I've not played them enough to really understand what they do and how to dial them in properly, number one. And number two, they don't really fit my genre of playing anyway. So, but what I can tell you is, so far, all of the amp models I have dialed in on the AM4 have been about as close to perfect as you can get them. So I'm going to assume that the Plexis are just as good as everything else that's in there. I just don't know what I'm doing with those. Oh, it's just TJ Magify. Okay, thank you, Tom F. Okay. All right, so I'll try to remember that. Thank you. XS4225, I'm interested in Fractal, but it's been sold out. Yeah, man, keep an eye on new ones being released, because, man, I'm telling you, you're going to love this thing. I mean, I've got so many presets on it now, and I can go live with any of them. They all sound amazing. Oh, yeah, Bill, you're right. Thank you. You can put your name on the waiting list, and they will email you. Trust me, they're happy to email you and let you know that they're available so they can take your money and send you one. So yeah, definitely do that. Let's see here. Bill says, but to Jarrod's point, I'm not good at dialing in high gain, so it all ends up as mush. Yeah, we all kind of know what we're doing in the type of, you know, genre of music that we're playing and the type of gain structure that we're going for. And I can dial in a high gain amp pretty easily now. I'm pretty familiar with, you know, I've had a lot of practice with all of these. So what's nice about that is that now I can go into the digital world and I know exactly what I'm looking for. And I know how it should sound and feel because I've played most of the amps that are in these digital modelers, and I know how they're supposed to sound and feel. And like I said, like if I can't get it to sound good, it's probably just a shitty unit, you know. But everything now is so good. Like I just think they've come a long ways. They really have, you know. So XS4225. I have a Stomp XL, and the AM4 seems like a nice upgrade. No, it is. It is. The Stomp's great. But I really think you're gonna love the AM4. I think the modeling is better. I mean, the Stomp is kind of an older unit, and the modeling in there is a bit older, and I think it's good. But I think the modeling in the AM4 is superior. I really do. Now, as far as the modeling in the new HELIX stuff, I think it's very good. I haven't compared them, so I don't know how it compares to the Fractal stuff, but it's definitely better than the OG stuff. Tony McKenzie, or Tony McKenzie, Tony Krozik, what's happening, man? He says, good day, TW's crew, running late today, selling stuff on Marketplace. Oh, good for you, man. Good to see you here. Awesome. Let's see, CS says, two of my current pickups, Mojo Tone and Tomahawk, and Arcane Killdozer, both are brutal, yet string clarity is superb. Look into them. Oh, nice, man. It's good to know. You know, some people say, oh, pickups don't matter and stuff. Like, bullshit. They absolutely matter. Why do you think I hate Fishmans so much? Every time I play a guitar with Fishmans, I'm like, come on. What's this freaking weird synthetic, fake, plasticky cocked wah sound here, especially with certain amps. They just don't jive with those amps at all. And I hate the fact, and no offense to people who loves Fishmans, but I hate the fact that all these new amazing guitars are coming out with Fishmans on them. And I was going to buy a guitar the other day, and we're unboxing, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me try this one. Oh, Fishmans. Box it back up. I can't get past them. I just can't. And then I saw Herman Lee released a new guitar with PRS, and I'm like, I bet you that guitar smokes. I bet you it's amazing, you know. And then it's got Fishmans on it. I'm like, dude, it's like they've infiltrated all these different brands, and it's like it's almost a must now. You have to have Fishman pickups, and I don't get it. I just don't get the whole Fishman craze. I hate those pickups. I loathe them. You know, again, sorry if you like them, but I do not like them at all. First time I ever heard Fishman, somebody came over my house with them, and hey, you got to check these out. They're this and that, and they do all this and that. And I'm like, oh, cool. And he played through my amp, and I heard the cocked wah thing, and I'm like, yuck. Of course, I'm not going to say that because I'm not rude, but in my mind, I was throwing up in my mouth that's in my brain. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It just sounded like pure dog shit to me. And then I tried them, and on certain amps, they were okay. Like, I think the Revv, because it's so thick, it was pretty forgiving. But any modern amp, like the Bogner, Uber Ultra, the EVH Stealth, all I heard was cocked wah. It was just yuck. I could not stand those pickups, and they just felt sterile. They made all my amps feel like I was playing through a modeler from 15 years ago. I just hated it. Fishman seems to have great marketing program and budget. XS4225 says, yeah, you're right, man. They do. I mean, it's like they've literally like walked into everyone's office. You know what they probably do? They probably find these super hot chicks and they walk in with samples. They're like, hey, wearing bikinis, you know, like, hey, you guys want to try our Fishmans, you know? And the simps that work there are like, yeah, sure, you know, thinking they got a chance with them. And, you know, I don't know what they're doing, excuse me, but they're just not good, you know? And I'm just sick and tired of seeing new guitars come out. And then you look at the video like, oh, cool, that guitar looks badass. And then see the guy's hand over it, and I'm always watching, like, move your hand, dude. As soon as he moves his hand, I'm like, damn it. Why? Why are they in every freaking guitar now? It's so, oh, it's awful. You know? And it just drives me nuts. It's like, how can you like these? How can you like these? They're terrible. XS says, how about EMG's actives? I've had very little experience with those. A friend of mine, TJ, was playing them and he liked them, but then he started going with passives after a year or so. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do with Fishmans. It's almost like everybody's got to go on the Fishman hype train for a while, and then they find out, like, yeah, they're not that great. And then they get off the hype train, they go back to regular pickups. I've known so many guys who have done that. And they swear when they have them, like, oh, dude, these are great. I'm like, why? Because everybody says they are? Why? Because the marketing says they are? Why? Because they're everywhere, and that's just all you see, so you just assume that they're good. And then a year later, they're always like, yeah, I switched back to, you know, passives. And I'm like, yeah, yep, you had to find out, though. And I get it. We all have to try things out and figure it out, but just take my advice. Let the Fishman hype train just pass you by, man. Don't get on the hype train. Just use passives. They just sound and feel way better. And I just, like I said, save yourself the money and the agony. They're not good pickups. And I think that's, for me, it's a fact. For you, it might be subjective, but for me, it's a fact, you know. There's no way anybody could ever talk me into buying a guitar with Fishmans. Can't do it. Bill says, me neither. I'm with you there. I think I'm a passive guy. Yeah, I mean, these pickups are amazing. I have the Sonic Ecstasies in here, and I love these pickups. When I ordered my Kiesel, I insisted on Sonic Ecstasies, and I ordered them and had them shipped to Kiesel so they could put them in. And I do have a Schecter with Lundgrens, and I think those are really good as well. Lundgrens are great. And then it's got the Sustainiac, which I think is the most fun party trick ever. Amazing pickup. Jim Simmons says, like Line 6 Pod Go is 600 and the HX Stomp is 650 or more. Their prices are too high for a 10-year-old tech. Fractal AM4, only 50 more, a no-brainer. It kind of is at this point. It's a no-brainer. It really is. And I love Line 6. I love my HX, or my HELIX Stadium XL. I think it's great, and I think they did a great job with the unit so far. But if I was on the market right now trying to decide between a Podgo and a HX Stomp and the AM4, after playing the AM4, it would be a really easy decision for me to go with the AM4. You have way more amp models because they've been out for a long time, and they have so many models to choose from. And I think that Axe Effects kind of caters more to the genre that I play, like metal, hard rock, heavier kind of stuff. Like there's just a lot more amps in there that cater to what I like, and maybe that could be part of it as well. Where some of the other units, like the Line 6 stuff, they do have some heavier amps in there, but they have a lot of classic rock type stuff in there and cleans and stuff too, which is great. So it depends on the genre of music that you play as well. That's really what it comes down to, you know? It's just like if you don't like seafood, you're not going to go to a seafood restaurant. But if you like seafood, you're going to go to one of those and they have a lot of seafood to choose from, and you're going to love that place. And people that say, I don't like that restaurant, it doesn't mean the restaurant's not good. It's just you don't like seafood, you know? So that's kind of what it comes down to. So let's see here. I'm having fun, by the way, guys. Thank you for the comments and everything. Braxel says, I've tried active pickups in the past and I cannot get into them. Maybe they're better now. I tried them in the 80s and the 90s. And then XS4225 says, what passive pickups do you like? I'll be repetitive just in case, but yeah, these are the Sonic Ecstasies and I love them. And the Lundgren pickup in my Schecter is also very good. Very, very happy with those. Yeah, I mean, I think the active pickups, here's the issue I have with them. No matter what style or brand, I think they have too much say over your guitar sound. They're too, they're kind of bossy with how your amp's gonna sound, where passives are more subtle. So the main thing with passives is, do they have enough output for you? And if they do, then you're good. You know, I mean, whatever voicing they have isn't as much of a noticeable thing then as if you had, you know, the what do you call them? Powered pickups, or I can't think of the right word here, but you know what I'm talking about, like the Fishmans and stuff like that. They're so, the voicing is so overwhelming that if you don't, you know, if you don't like the voicing coming out of those, there's really no way to dial that out in your amp. There really isn't. I've tried, and then like, it always sounds weird to me. And where passives are more subtle. And like I said, I'm all about that output. The only thing I noticed about my Sonic Ecstasies is they're chunky, they're thick, they're beefier. They have some great low end in them, but not too much. And that's what I like about them. And they have great output. So I really like them, you know. I was going to call you TJ, because I already forgot what you told me. Sorry, you said the only Fishman I heard that I like is there's acoustic set. Yeah, I think they do make acoustic stuff as well, and they're probably great, but for electric, hell no. Dean Harkness, what's happening, man? He says, I like EMGs, but also like passives. Yeah. Yep, there's some good EMGs out there. People have said that are great, but I just want something that's not so, that has so much say in how my amps are going to sound, you know. Bill says the pickup Jakey Lee uses, I think is SH4, great in my Les Pauls. Oh, nice, man. Are those higher output or lower output? Iron Game, okay. Bare Knuckle Aftermath, I had those. Those are actually pretty freaking good. I've had bare knuckles, and they were very good. I like those as well. Let's see. Flux says, I've never found anything that makes me sound more like me than EMG 81X in the bridge position. Tried all the key passive active out there. EMG 81 beat them all. Good, man. Matrix Star, Jackson Soloist guy here. Yeah, Jackson makes some great stuff, man. Their guitars are awesome. Maybe I should get one of those. Those are, I wanted to get another Schecter, but they didn't have it in the 7-string. The one I wanted. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Iron Games says Sonic Ecstasy and a Basswood RG sound great too. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Super CM079, what's up, man? He said I played some passive pickups whose voicings just couldn't get. Oops, I just couldn't get on with. Looking at my Railhammer pickups, high output, but just can't get on with them. Yeah, some of the voicings out there maybe are a little strong, but what I've found with passives, at least my limited experience with them anyways, is I feel like they're a little more subtle, but there's probably some exceptions, like you just said, for sure. Gravel Rocks, what's happening? He says, I tried Fishman once, sent the guitar right back. I gotta say, they're the worst pickups I've ever played. Yeah, man, they really are. I just, like I said, I used to sell audio back in the 90s. I did retail for many years, and it's funny, like you guys all heard of Bose, right? Well, the saying in our store was no highs, no lows, must be Bose. And I would get people in all the time, and they would be like, they'd come to my audio room, they'd be like, yeah, we want to get these Bose bookshelf speakers. I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, well, I can write you up for those, not a problem. But do yourself a favor, and I want you to close your eyes and stand in the middle of the room. And I had all these speakers lined up across from each other in the room, and I put them in a central location where they're all pointed, you know, and I said, what kind of music do you like? Oh, I like this. Okay, let me fire that up. I put in the CD, play it for them, and I would hit the switch the speakers, and I'd be like, pick the speakers that you think sound best. And I'd switch through all of them, and they never picked Bose, ever. Not one person picked them. And I would say at the end of the session, I'd be like, so you picked number 6, right? Yeah. Were those the Bose? No. And then I would make them close their eyes again and I'd switch between the Bose and them. They'd be like, wow, they just don't sound all that good. I'm like, yeah, you're caught up in the hype. You want Bose because it's the elegant brand. Like, oh, we have Bose in our house. Yes. Would you like some wine? You know, and it was like, you listen to metal and you're playing it through Bose. Like, the Bose are made for like orchestra music. It's kind of what they were made for. They're not really made for all different kinds of music. And I'm not kidding you. Never once in the 7 years I sold audio did anybody pick them in a blind test. So I just feel like when it comes to products, there's good products and then there's good marketing. And sometimes bad products or products that are just not all that great do really well in the marketplace because their marketing game is so good, you know, and that's really what it comes down to. And you know, as musicians and guitar players, we get caught up in that stuff so easily, and we all hop on the hype train, and then a year later, a month later, whatever, we realize, wow, these really aren't as good as I thought they were. Yeah, you're right. You bought into the marketing. And here's the thing too, I'll say this as a caveat. There are people who legitimately like them, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. If you legitimately like something I don't like, you're not wrong. And I'm not wrong either. It's just we have a difference of opinion on those things, you know. But no one's ever going to talk me into putting those things into my guitar. Ever. Because once you hear that thing they do, you can't unhear it. It's there. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's freaking there. There's nothing you can do to get rid of it. Bozos. Now, if you have Bose in your house, God bless you. I'm not ragging on you, but it's just not something I would buy. As an audio guy, like I said, I did audio. I sold home theater. I sold big screens. I sold appliances. I sold all that shit. I was one of the biggest audiophile snobs you'll ever meet. And all the snobs like Bose, but I was like, nope. Because even the snobs in a blind test would not pick them. You know, we used to do that joke on each other all the time. Like, yeah, but dude, I make a lot of money selling those. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I hope you sleep good at night. You know, but I can't. I'll sell them to you if you insist on having them, but I'm going to make you go through my tests first so that when you walk out of my store, you have exactly what you really came in for, not what you thought you wanted. That's what my job was. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I'm going a little long tonight, but it's okay. I'm having a good time hanging out with you guys, and I'm going to make some killer Indian food after this stream. I'm going to make butter chicken, and oh my God, is that stuff amazing. Can't wait to chow on that, man. TJ says, was like shitty car subs. Also, you can hear the difference. Yeah, you can, man. Some of them trunk rattlers, man. They were something else, weren't they? Yeah, nobody does hi-fi anymore. Yeah, it's hard to find it now. What do I got here? What I got? My red guitar. What haven't I played tonight? There's probably a lot of stuff I haven't played. I know I'm not really practiced on some of these, but let's just hear something simple with this preset. Just some rhythm stuff. I'll just keep it simple on this one here, and let's see what this sounds like. All right. Man, it just sounds thick and chunky, just the way I like it. Beefy as hell. Freaking love this preset. It's just awesome. I'd record with this no problem. Super CM079 says, I should be having 2 custom guitars shipping before April. A Balaguer that I ordered from February last year. Holy shit, he's that far behind? Wow. That is a hell of a wait. I hope you love that guitar if you waited that long for it. Holy crap. I've heard good things about his guitars, though. And a Fender MIM that is going to knock your socks off. HH configuration, Seymour Duncan Black Winners. I've heard good things about the Black Winners. Yeah, really good things. Oh, that's right. Dean Harkness bought a MT100. He texted me the other day. He's like, hey, I found this for a really good price. What do you think I should do? And I was like, well, for that price, I'd freaking get it. And that's a cool amp, man. The high gain channel in that is actually good. I did a shootout with that and a bunch of other amps, and it held its own pretty well. So it's a good amp. I think the main problem with that amp is that we waited so long for it that the hype died on it, because here's the problem I think a lot of companies have. I think a lot of companies are making a huge mistake by announcing something way too early, and they don't realize that they have a couple years to go before this product is developed fully. And maybe at the time of announcement, maybe they think it's going to be a shorter time to get it done than it actually is. But I'm one of those guys, as a business owner, I don't announce something until it's ready, because what happens is that people get all hopped up about it, like, oh, it's going to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, people are only going to freaking be happy and cheerful and hyped up about a product for so long. And if it doesn't come in a certain amount of time, we all just naturally kind of move on to other things that were announced properly and came out at the proper time. And it's like being at a restaurant and someone saying your food will be out soon, and then 45 minutes go by and you watch everyone else's food go by your table and you're smelling it and you're like, oh, that smells amazing. Oh, that looks like what I ordered, and there it goes, you know, and you're like, what the hell? And after a while, you just get angry, you know, and then when the food finally comes out, it doesn't taste as good because you're just pissed, you know, and you're just eating it because you're hungry and you want to. It's like, well, I can either eat one of my children or I can eat this meal. I guess I'll eat the meal now, you know. So it's like one of those things where you're not really enjoying the meal anymore. The hype's gone. The hype about the restaurant's kind of gone. You're just pissed off and you're hangry, you know. And I think it's such a bad idea for companies to go, yeah, we're going to do this. And then 5 years go by and it finally gets a release. And they're like, well, why is it not selling well? It's because, well, I mean, dude, the hype died. You know, hype is real, and hype is definitely something you need to sell stuff with. And, you know, it just doesn't work out in your favor to announce things prematurely. It really doesn't. So I think that that's what happened with that amplifier. I think if it would have came out within a year of the announcement, it would have sold like crazy and people would have loved it. But since it didn't, and it took 5 years, it just, I wouldn't say it flopped, but it did not do as good as they hoped. You know, but it doesn't mean it's not a good amp. It just means that the hype associated with it died. You know, and it's really sad. And here's the thing that really got me. What held it up was that shitty, useless, worthless, vanilla, disgustingly boring sounding Dumble channel that they spent 5 years. Well, we wanted to make sure that we got this right. Well, if you wanted to create one of the worst sounding channels on an amplifier and make it sound as horrible as you could, congratulations. You freaking nailed that right to the floor. That is the worst sounding channel ever. And by the way, who's your audience? Metal and rock players. No one's going to play that channel. It's completely flyover country. I spent probably a good 45 minutes with that channel, with and without a boost pedal, trying to get it to sound good. And it sounds like I stuck my guitar cable up a horse's ass and smacked it on the ass and called it all kinds of horrible names and started playing my guitar. And it bucked me in the face with the worst tone I've ever heard in my life. That channel sucks. I could throw up in a bucket and stick my guitar cable into that and it would sound better. Stupid. So stupid to hold up an amp that's made for a metal community because you want to develop a Dumble channel that's very true to a Dumble amp for an audience that will never play that channel. Never. I don't know one guy who plugs into that amp that says, yeah, that Dumble channel's amazing. No, it's not. Go get your ears checked. It's not. It sounds like dog shit. It's horrible. So I love Mark Tremonti. I think he's a great dude, but that was definitely a pet project of his and a passion project to get that channel to sound like it does. But if I was him, I would have been like, you know what, just make me a separate amp with that channel in it, and let's just release this thing. I mean, this is getting out of hand, and I don't think that people who are going to buy this amplifier are going to give two rats' asses about this channel anyways. I really think that they really screwed the pooch on that. Sorry, not sorry. That's what I think. And you guys know me. I definitely say what I think on my channel. I do not hold back at all. I think that channel sucks so bad. You know, It really is. It's like the worst channel I've ever played. I've played cheap garbage amps that sound better than that channel. It's terrible. Let's see if anybody in here disagrees with me. Hey, good hanging with you, Super CMO79. Thanks, man. So, Bill says, so tell us how do you really feel about this amp? Oh, I think the amp's great. I just hate that channel. And Dean, have you played that channel yet? Have you spent any time with it? And what are your thoughts? And if you like it, I'm going to drive down to Memphis and egg your house. I am, dude. I'm gonna turn your house into an omelet. Dean's like, screw you, man. Oh, Gravel Rocks, are you speaking of Thomas Blug? He's putting all kinds of YouTube videos on and doesn't even mention the new pedal where it is. Okay, so I'm not speaking about him, but now that you brought him up, I think Thomas Blug is a total awesome guy. I've met him twice. He's the sweetest, most nicest, kindest person. He's very smart and very cool. And yes, the AmpX is definitely taking a long time to develop. But to his credit, I've asked him every time I saw him at NAMM, like, hey, what's going on with this thing, Where are we at? He's just like, I just don't want to release it until it's right. I've seen too many people release stuff and it's not right, and they just get, raked over the coals. And I'm like, I totally get it. So I think with him, it was a genuine thing where it's like, I think I can get this done in this amount of time. But then he got kind of in deep with it and realized, well, wow, there's all this other stuff I could be doing with this. And then he started really expanding a lot of things with it. And he's an engineer, and engineers can get caught up in that stuff. And I totally understand that. But I really hope for his sake and for his company's sake and for the product's sake that when it does come out that people love it, because who knows, maybe it will be worth the wait. But that's definitely a dangerous thing when a company they're premature with things, and then the product just doesn't do well. And it's not because it's not good. It's because the hype dies and no one cares anymore. And it's so sad to see. Like that's what happened with the Invective. If you remember, the PV Invective was announced, and Misha was all excited about it. And then when it finally came out, no one cared. It was like, whatever. We've moved on to other things, because people hold on to their money and they're like, I'm going to wait. And then they get tired of waiting. And it's like when the waiter walks by with someone else's food, you just start snagging. I'm going to snag a couple fries off his plate. I'm starving, and they just start buying other things, and then when it comes out, they're like, I got something else because I got tired of waiting and I'm happy with it. And that's not good enough for me to switch now. I'm just going to stick with what I got. And it's very unfortunate. There's a lot of products that have done that. Now, conversely, in the digital realm, people release things too early and they get raked over the coals because it's not ready yet. And it's like, yeah, but we can update it. It's like, yeah, but I don't pack my parachute after I jump out of the plane. Thank you very much. I do it before. And I just think it's smart for companies to just don't announce anything until it's ready, until you know it's ready, and then make your announcement. I like how KEMPER does stuff. You don't even know until the day of. All of a sudden you see this ad. I remember when the stage was announced. It was like all the warehouses were full. They were ready to ship that day. And it was like, here's our ad for the KEMPER stage. I ordered one immediately. I'm like, holy shit. It was awesome, and that's how you do it. You just lie low, and then when the hype train hits, all the stuff's ready to ship. There's no guessing. There's no frustration. It's just like, I'm buying it now. And that's how you do it. That's how you market. It really is. Let's see, the brother Ken. Granted, I've never played a real Dumble, but every Dumble clone or Dumble preset or capture emulation, I've never came away all that impressed. Maybe it's just me. Nah, it's not you, dude. It's not you. The Dumble amps that I've it's another one of those things where it's like hype. Oh, they're so expensive, 100 grand for a Dumble, and it's like, dude, I honestly wouldn't pay $100 for one. Not because I don't think it's made well, it just does not work for me. It's the flattest, most lifeless amp I've ever played. There's nothing about it that's special to me. Maybe it's because of the genre of music I play, but even when I play stuff that doesn't fit my genre, I can still appreciate how good it is. Like the Roland Chorus amp. I mean, it's glorious. Would I buy one and play it all the time? No, but it's a great clean sound, and it's absolutely luscious. It's beautiful sounding, but I can appreciate that. Like the Fender amps, like the Twins and all those, they sound amazing. Do I own one? No. Would I play one on a regular basis? No, because they don't fit my genre of music, but I can still appreciate how good it is, you know, because it really is good at what it does. Dumble, I have no idea. I have no idea what that amp is supposed to do or sound like. I had a friend of mine bring over a Fuchs once, and I played it, and I can't remember which amp it was. I just remember there's 2 cards on it or something. If you guys could help me out with that. And I played it, and as I'm strumming, it had this weird rattle in it. Now I called him. I'm like, dude, I think there's something wrong with your amp, because I had it in my possession. I want to make sure he didn't think I broke it. He's like, no, it's supposed to do that. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to review this because it just sounds like it's broken to me. I don't really like it. He goes, yeah, it's supposed to do that. It's kind of a weird amp. And I'm like, doesn't work for me, you know? So there's amps out there that do a certain thing, and maybe they're very specific to a certain kind of player, but I don't know what it is with the Dumbles. I think they're very overhyped. And maybe there's a certain Dumble that's out there that is awesome. I don't know, but the iteration that I've heard it's just not good. It doesn't sound good to me at all. It's very lifeless and plain and boring, you know. Yeah, Senium1 says, yeah, I found that with the MT100 second channel. Love that amp, but wish the second channel was better. Yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, if I was talking to Mark Tremonti and what do you think? I'd be like, dude, your audience, I mean, you're kind of a metal dude. You're heavy hard rock metal kind of dude. You're an amazing player. You're one of the best, most underrated players out there. You're super awesome. And the guys that would buy this amp would not appreciate that channel. Why don't you put 2 channel 3s in there so they can dial in channel, you know, one of those channels for rhythm, one of them for lead. You know, a tight percussive rhythm channel and a liquidy lead channel. I said that's what I would do with this. If you want a Dumble, just buy a Dumble, or have PRS make you a Dumble amp and put it in your thing. You know, I mean, or mod your amp that you tour with like that. But I would not make a production amp with that channel in it. I just wouldn't. Now you got 2 things going against you. You have the 5-year wait, and then you have the 5-year wait because someone took a dump and called it channel 2. You know, it's just not a good idea. I wouldn't put that in there. And besides, people are paying for that. I wouldn't pay for it, you know. So Shred Flintstone says all Dumbles are supposed to be quite different. Yeah, they're definitely different. They don't work for me. But like I said, for a guy who plays the kind of music I play, and I think most of you guys, if you play metal, rock, whatever, you would plug into channel 2 on that amp and just go, what the hell was this? Is there something wrong with it? I'm going to call PRS, like, yeah, I think there's something. No, that's what it's supposed to sound like. Oh, well, shit. It just doesn't work, you know? It's just not for me. Brother Ken says, I just don't get the Dumble thing unless I'm just playing it wrong. Yeah, I'm trying to find Dean's comment here. Did he comment? Let's see. Where is he? Where are you, Dean? Trying to find you here. I want to see what your thoughts are on it. He might have texted me. Yeah, I can't find him. Where are you? Share your thoughts, Dean. If I've missed it, share them again, please. Oh, there he is. That's how you really feel. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it again. They have one at Motor City. Maybe I could plug into the Jet channel again and see if I like it, but so far, nah. I mean, with my riffs, it just doesn't work, you know, for whatever that means. So Dean, tell us what you think of that channel. Have you played it? I'll stay on long enough for that, and then I'm going to wrap up here. I've been on for almost 2 hours, which is rare. I only do 1 hour shows now, but I've been having fun with you guys tonight, so I'm happy to do it. Oh, Tim Roberts, or Roberts, sorry. I'm high on the Zuta right now. Truly a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I met Mr. Zuta at NAMM last time I went. Great dude. Freaking awesome guy. Buxom, is that his name? I want to try one of his amps really bad because they do look really cool. And he comes from a audio engineer background. Like he built great big boards for people in studios, and he built that amp with that kind of stuff in mind. So I'm looking to check one of those out. Same as everyone, Dean says. Gotcha. Not really digging it either, huh? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, guys, well, hey, it's been fun hanging out with you guys. I got to clean the house and get ready for the week and make some food and kind of getting hungry here. So anyways, Dean says, yeah, I played around with it. Gonna retube like Flux recommend and play again. Yeah, try it again, dude. Let me know. You can text me. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Anyways, well, it's fun hanging out with you guys. Thanks so much for hanging with me tonight. And I want to thank everybody who's been purchasing all the preset and profile packs too. Seriously, it really means a lot. I love hearing back from you guys on what your thoughts are on them, and everybody seems to really like them. And I'm so glad that I'm making stuff that people dig, you know. So, yeah, anyways, keep doing that. It definitely supports the channel, and I appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a great week. And like I always say, every day's a gift. And thank you so much for spending part of your gift with me tonight. And let's all say a prayer for Carrie. Hopefully she feels better. I'll be contacting her after the show as well. So, hopefully she'll be able to join me next week. Well, God bless you guys, and stay metal and keep shredding. I'll see you guys all.